Hello and welcome to Note to File, a clinical research podcast.
A collection of interviews, candid commentary, and general nonsense for the clinical research community.
Check us out at notetofilepodcast.com.
And now, without further ado, on to the show.
Hey dudes, we're doing it again.
We're back.
You got a blank wall back there.
No, I have some very tasteful holes in my wall, little tiny ones. I'm moving.
It's artistic.
I'm surrounded by cardboard boxes right now. So
Nothing more fun than moving.
it's kind of the fucking worst.
It's not fun.
No, it's
So good luck.
Yeah, hopefully this will be the last big move in a hot minute. So we'll see. But hence the wall is blank. And then I also need to figure out what am I going to do in my new place and what's that going to look like.
Build a whole new wall, a whole new podcast wall.
It's
All right,
exciting.
guys, submit your ideas for what Denali should have on her wall in the background. Yeah, let's hear it. Today is June 2nd. It is National Bubba Day.
What does that even mean?
What day is today?
Let's see. Whoa, why is my computer doing things that I'm not happy about?
Is that Bubba? Is like Bubba Gump shrimp?
It honors anyone and everyone named Bubba.
I mean, I know one Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Okay. Well, I mean, whatever it is, it apparently needs to have its own day. So, I live in Oklahoma. We got there's a lot of Bubbas. A lot of foods with the nickname Bubba.
Fair.
So, I guess that's cool. It got worldwide recognition in 1989, just so you know. National Bubba Day.
How international is the name Bubba?
I mean, I can't
it's
imagine.
Pretty American.
It seems distinctly American, if I had to guess. But you never know. Maybe there's some. I don't know. What's the South American version of Bubba? I wonder. Today, we'll figure it out. We have a lot of listeners in Mexico, so guys, please
let us know.
Let us know what the Mexican equivalent of Bubba is. Today, I mean, great day is National Leave Work Early Day.
Good. Bye, guys.
I support this day.
Yeah.
Leave work early.
I've been thinking, it was interesting. I was over in Denmark last week.
Bragging?
And it's a humble brag. Don't worry about it.
It was just over. I just happened to find myself in Denmark.
Well, I was having conversations with a couple of folks from across different countries in Europe, and the concept of workday came out. And there's some countries, like in healthcare, you can only work 36-hour work weeks, and just different countries had different regulations about how many days or hours folks worked. And it was particularly in healthcare is what we were talking about. And I was, pretty on board with bringing that over across the ocean here.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and run that up the chain at Veeva and see what they have to say. Sure
I only want to work 4 days.
Right.
But there's been studies that have been done where people, if you work 4-day weeks, you get the same amount of work done in that time period versus having a 5-day week. Which...
Yeah, I mean, God forbid, not try to fill every minute with profitability. But to your point, I mean, some of the studies show it's just as efficient and probably saves a lot of money.
Because I think you generally pay people the same, right? It's salary based. It's not I guess if you have hourly, it'd be different. But
even then, you've got building utilities and all kinds of different things going on that you may not have to spend as much money on if people are in the office 5 days a week.
I also wonder how that affects
sitting at a desk doing probably nothing most of the time.
Well, that's the thing. I think the concept being is that if you have 4 days to get the work done, you still have the same amount of work. You're just going to buckle down and do it. Whereas if I know I'm going to be here for 5 weeks, I'm only going to have 2 days off. Do you try to give yourself a better balance during the work day because you're going to have more work days to personal days? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously depends on what your business is. I mean, this is something I've I wish I could do, but it's if we're embedded in clinics who are seeing patients 5 days a week, we can't really be like, you know what, 20% of the week, we're just screw you guys. We're not going to enroll your patients. So it's kind of
You wouldn't be able to.
harder to do in an environment like that.
Well, like, I don't know. And I got flack for saying this a couple months ago, but like, I'm very much the proponent of like, if you do your work and you do it well in a small amount of time, that's great. Like, I'd rather have people who are more efficient get their work done and then fuck off, do what you want. Like, I'm not going to like give you more work because you finished it faster necessarily. Like, do your work well. I don't care how long it takes you. And I would prefer you to do it more efficiently than like stretch it out, like online shop for leggings during the workday. Like, get your work, do it done, and then have your free time. Do whatever you want. That's fine.
Yeah, I tend to agree, but what can you do? We like our wage slavery here in the United States. So, shut up and clock your hours.
I think that's a lot different though. When it was like a truly like in office culture too, because you had to be there from time A to time B. And so it's like, okay, well, if you had to sit your ass in the chair, yeah, fuck off for a little bit. And there's no really incentive to being like more efficient because you're still stuck there. Versus if I get work done and I'm done at a certain time, then I can go do what else I need to do during the day, as opposed to just like fucking around for pieces of the day here and there. If I could just like buckle down, be efficient, and I'm rewarded because I'm not just sitting there doing nothing.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, but I don't run a multi-billion-dollar company, so what do I know?
I don't either.
It's true. So okay, you were in Copenhagen, and it was Veeva something or other summit.
Veeva R&D Quality EU Summit. Yeah, I don't know why we picked that word, but it's our
why summit?
I don't know.
It's like your
like conference
it's like
summit,
climbing to the top of something.
No, but like summit's like a pretty common term for like a conference, like a summit. Like Iron Innovation Network does a gathering because they wanted to have a different name for it other than like a conference or a convention or a...
It's people gathering, not people summiting.
Okay, so we are metaphorically summiting something, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's like a common conference synonym, right? But I couldn't tell you the origins of it. But this is the R&D and Quality Summit in Europe, so specifically focused on like the, life sciences, like development side of things, like drug development and manufacturing. And it was good. I think they had a fairly large group, bigger than they have in the past. And we had our site sponsor collaboration day 0 sessions, which were kind of similar to what we did in Boston last fall, which I know you were there for. And so like it was that. I mean, it was interesting. It's the climate of sites there just seems different. And I was talking to some folks on my team today, and I couldn't quite pin it down. Like what exactly is different about it?
Because they're working 4 days a week and taking 8-week vacations and...
Well, so I think a big piece of it is obviously the healthcare landscape is significantly different.
Yeah, it's very different.
And so you get a lot of these folks that are embedded within nationalized healthcare systems. So the delivery of healthcare is just fundamentally different. So I think that's a piece of it. And there also just seems to be a different dynamic between sites and sponsors.
In a positive way?
Just very different. I feel like it's like it feels more like the sites are there to do the work for that the sponsors are paying them to do.
Yeah, I mean that is the model, yeah.
But I feel like the U.S. site is different. Like I feel like
that's because we love our independence and our freedom, and we like to do things the way we like to do it here in America.
Like it is a little bit. It feels a little bit like that though.
Yeah,
it's like we're a little bit more entrepreneurial is not the right word, but like take charge and I'm gonna do this and I'm my site and like we're gonna do things versus like, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna I don't know if I agree with how this is gonna come out. It almost seems a little bit more just like organically collaborative in a way. Or just it's just very different. Like I feel like the sites come at it from a very different angle in some ways.
Sure.
but I think it's it's a combination of like the health system, the healthcare delivery models they're operating under, and then just like they seem to just be a lot more like integrated at some level with the sponsors than
It's interesting.
US sites.
Yeah.
But that's like a one opinion from a handful of conversations over a handful of days. So
that's fair. That's fair.
take that for
small perspective.
what it's worth, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of the pharma companies are European.
I mean, there's a big chunk of them that have headquarters in different. Yeah.
Maybe there's something to that as well. Yeah, I've wondered, what the how that differs. How sites differ. Period. And I know we've talked about getting some people on to maybe talk about.
Yeah, I had a chance to meet some really great, site folks and, as well as sponsor CRO folks over there. So had a few conversations and, I think asked if they're interested in maybe coming on and sharing their experience. So we'll see how that materializes. But it was good overall. I think it was, a couple years behind where we are on the site market here in the US from a Veeva perspective. So it'll be exciting to see how it grows.
Did you get any impression of, are there more or less like independent sites?
There's really not that many.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted.
Yeah, it's a lot of ones that are associated with hospitals and health systems.
Right.
There's some more like academic type organizations, like academic medical centers, hospitals, health systems, and then there's a handful of networks. And like even some of the US, like even Velocity, right, is in the Europe as well. But as far as independent sites, and maybe this is the variations, we're missing that whole market segment because there's just not. And I asked, I was like, why are we not seeing this? And the basic answer I got was from like the overhead perspective. It just is really expensive to open up that kind of site.
Sure.
In Europe.
Interesting.
So I don't know exactly why. I think we've had similar conversations here regarding folks who wanted to open up sites and they're like, oh, you need $1 million to open up a site. And I was like, and you've been like, no, you need a couple $1,000s in your time.
Yeah. No, I think it can be done. We see like a lot of examples of this. It can be done relatively inexpensively. Depending on what your model is and how complicated you want to get. But I mean, I started with basically nothing, a couple $1,000s of equipment and, some space that I basically revenue shared with the office, and that was it. But yeah, I've had big people from big networks be like, yeah, it's $1.5 million if you're going to start a new site. I'm like, what are you doing with that?
Well, and like it's like you're hiring a coordinator, you're renting a space, you're contracting like physician time, you're buying the equipment. And so if you're doing like all at once, I could see you needing that, but like there's other models to go under. But there's interesting, like I don't know, like bastardizing how this was explained to me, but it was an interesting sort of dynamic about like the infrastructure, how much folks are paid in medical roles as well, given the different healthcare landscape. And so you get a lot of folks who are trying to work in private hospitals, but also working in, national systems. It was just an interesting dynamic around like some of the costs of it and if they're even allowed to, because there's not a lot of groups to do that, like independent physician practices is probably not quite as many of those as well. Sure. And so it's a lot more like national systems. There's some private hospitals. There's probably not a ton of like little crop up physician groups. So it's just a different landscape from that perspective, probably. But if we can have someone on who has lived it and is much more knowledgeable than me, that would be probably much more valuable than me like
we'll find that.
Rambling and half remembering what I talked about.
Well, it happens. But yeah, no, we'll get some folks on and talk more about that. Anything else? What else exciting's happened over the last week? I feel like I've been very out of touch with all the news in clinical trial space. Anything on your mind? Anything exciting?
I mean, I've been
not another country doing
and jet lagged and all the things. So
one thing I found interesting was IQVIA essentially was imposed a $5 million. Well, it's 5 million euro fine for their operations in France. Basically a GDPR fine. I thought it was kind of interesting.
What is it about? What happened?
Well, it says that to support their work, IQVIA operates 2 major health data warehouses in France. The LRX warehouse, which is fed with data from approximately 14,000 pharmacies, and an EMR warehouse supplied with data from several thousand doctors. These repositories allow them to conduct large-scale analyses that help pharmaceutical companies make better decisions about drug development.
Okay.
Blah, blah,
So
blah.
this is like, okay, so they're using it for real world evidence type stuff.
That's the impression I get. Yeah,
Collections?
it was hard for me to find like a very clear write-up about this. Yeah, this was just, I mean, I think it was reported and published like yesterday, so maybe there's some
Yeah.
better writing about it. But apparently, this was following multiple consumer complaints, so they launched a bunch of audits, and they revealed several critical breaches. So there's a lack of transparency and information to patients. They didn't adequately inform individuals about how their health data was being processed. In one case involving a specific study, patient leaflets contained incorrect or incomplete information. Patients were not even aware that their data was being used, and there was no effective procedure allowing them to object or opt out.
Well, because GDPR is fairly restrictive as far as like how to use patient data, specific access, being able to remove yourself from it. Like it's a challenge.
Apparently, they also failed to comply with authorization conditions. So, under a bunch of French data protection acts, they have to strictly adhere to guarantees and limitations imposed during authorization. It was determined IQVIA fell short in areas including data security, patient rights exercise, and purpose limitation. So, again, it seems like using the data maybe in ways they were not otherwise authorized to do. They failed to implement sufficient technical and organizational measures to ensure data protection was embedded into its processing activities. And then there was a debate about that. Apparently, the data they were using was actually not truly anonymized.
I feel like there's a lot in that whole thing.
And apparently, so those people could potentially be identified through various techniques. And I guess I was reading a little bit about this on Reddit too. I mean, their 5 million euros is 0.019% of their market value. So it was less than a slap on the wrist, honestly. But I'm curious.
Well, so that
companies running sort of secondary use real world data analysis, like what does this mean? We've talked a lot too about pharmacy data. Even just being used here in the US. Like, do you think there comes a point where this becomes a problem, or there's some sort of misuse of the data, or even I'm relatively healthy. I don't take medications, but I've had to here and there. But even I've gotten spammed about clinical trial opportunities from major pharmacies. To what degree are I guess to what degree are patients informed or able to opt out of like being part of all of this big data play?
Well,
do you think it becomes a problem? Do you think it becomes a problem here at some point?
Well, that was going to be my first thing, was like, how localized is this from a regulation? Like GDPR is obviously EU, but like then it quoted a bunch of French specific regulations.
You can just do anything here in America because freedoms.
We play it fast and loose.
Not for me though, for the corporations.
Right. Right. Corporations are people. Didn't we cover that at one point?
No. That's a different podcast for a different time.
I mean, I think it's an interesting concept. Like, I have to imagine at some level. Well, I don't know if we will get there here, because I think there's enough of a business need that there will be lobbying that will stop that from getting to that level like it has over in the EU. But I think at some level there still is that general concept of like, there's all of this data, and whether it's for real world evidence, whether it's for AI crap that we're doing, like you need data to do all of that. And there's so much data through so many sources. Like there's no way that like my data is everywhere. So I have to like authorize all of it to be used. And am I even going to be aware of all of that? So like it just seems overwhelming in a way that like I don't even know how we would tackle that. It seems untenable.
Yeah, I am curious though. I wouldn't, and maybe we should get an attorney on, because I'm curious about, when we submit to an IRB, we can't just go willy-nilly digging through people's data. We have to have, if we want to do that, we have to have what's called a waiver of authorization. In order to get a waiver of authorization, you have to meet something like 4 or 5, points that have to essentially make the research otherwise impossible without those criteria being met. So there's a process by which, you can start doing this stuff. I think it's very, very likely not correctly applied in like most cases across clinical research. But then you start getting into things like, the common rule and different privacy rules. And even, I'm a layman, of course, but like reading through this stuff, it becomes very unclear what you can do with data without prior, consent. It obviously does seem to allow for some things, but it doesn't allow for a whole lot more. And I think it's a question I've brought up a few times. And of course, like, anything you bring to LinkedIn, you're going to get wildly disparate, answers. But I still think it's an interesting conversation, and maybe kind of obviously ties into this, because I mean, it's not a secret that like data is a big play in all of this stuff. Not even just straight up recruitment of patients, but data. And a ton of data is being collected and harvested and used in different ways. And what's okay and what's not.
Well, and then it's what's okay, what's not, and then when is like authorization and consent given? Because there's so often where you're submitting something through an IRB portal, and if you don't uncheck a box, anything you submitted could be used as your data. Or like I don't.
Well, how often do you read the terms of use of anything?
That's what I was just going to say. Like I go to Walgreens, I get a subscription or prescription, and I check on I'm signing out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm agreeing to receive.
You have a subscription to Walgreens?
Prescription. Okay. I'm going to Walgreens and I'm getting a prescription, and like I don't know, I sign stuff and say like I don't know, like I'm getting a fucking antibiotic or whatever I'm happening to be picking up.
Crazy pills. Picking up the crazy pills.
Picking up the crazy pills. But like I don't know, like I'm not reading through that. Like I update my phone. Like I'm agreeing to the new terms of service. They could own my firstborn for all I know, right? Like I'm just clicking it. I'm like, I know that's like a no-no. You're supposed to read everything you sign, but like in the world we live in today, there's so much of this shit. There's so many contractual CYA.
It's overload, yeah.
So like you just start like it's a contract fatigue, and you're just like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna sign it, just gonna agree to it. Like,
listen, people, don't use the internet. Don't go to anywhere. Build a cabin in the woods, grow your own food. The government can give you.
But like, so have I consented for my data to be used in a pharmacy standpoint, or like when I go to the doctor and I sign to say like
your data all the time. I have a credit card in your name.
You know what? By all means, my data's out there. My last company has had a fun little data leak some years back.
Oh yeah, that was
all that shit's out on the web.
Just
super fun for all of us who were a part of that.
Here locally, we have a local hospital system that was breached, and millions of records, maybe not millions, but hundreds of thousands of records and hundreds of thousands of people were impacted. And you get a $6 identity theft monitoring for a year or whatever. So
a year,
there you go. That's what your data is worth.
Right. It's like CYA, like here, well, look, we did this thing. What else could we have been expected to do?
Right.
So anyway, like my data's out there, whether I authorized it or not. And then like how much have I inadvertently authorized versus not? And then
the contract you signed to be on this podcast full of stuff I can do with your data. So
oh, terrifying.
I have a second mortgage.
And so like those are all the things that my data's out there. Then it's also like as a corporation, what can and cannot use. And like if you're IQVIA and you're doing this, like how much are you just sort of banking on like no one's paying attention to some of this, so we're just going to use it? Or like, hey, we're launching this new AI thing and we have all this data, so we're just going to use it because we don't think anyone's going to call us on it. You know what I mean? Like, so
well, again, and even if they do call you on it, it's literally nothing to you.
Well, right, like
€5 million is nothing.
Right. So like it's just an interesting, like, is it I don't know. Is it an issue? Should we just say like, fuck it, free for all, use all the data?
I mean, that's probably already.
It feels like that's already the case.
For every thing like this that we see, probably 100 more things are happening that we don't know and we'll never know about. I mean, I just thought it was interesting specifically that they were, using a whole bunch of pharmacy data. We've talked a lot about retail pharmacy, and I think, and talked about how actually like maybe the best place for a retail pharmacy is in the data side, but then, well, not if it's being used like completely,
without
incorrectly and without permission. Like that creates a whole another host of issues. But
well, I mean, like how many things do you read about like, oh, we're launching this new AI platform and it is fed through all of this data that our company has, and we're going to give you all these insights, and you're like, I know you have the data, but should you be using the data? Because that seems fucked up. And so it's like things like that where you're kind of like, curious. And then half these AI things never come to fruition anyway because people can't actually manage. So like, it just becomes this like game of where do you chase and what thread do you pull to actually get to something even real.
Yeah, we'll see. That's not clear yet. But I mean, the cat's kind of already out of the bag, right? Like all that data is already being ingested and used in God knows what types of ways. And now these AI companies are going IPO and.
Right. Well, Anthropic just announced that they're doing that. Nothing like going from was it like were they the did they started a nonprofit? No, that was OpenAI.
It was OpenAI, I think.
OpenAI, which is also talked about going IPO too.
I'm admittedly like not terribly educated, but yeah, I'm pretty sure OpenAI was the one that started out as
a nonprofit
and was like, psych,
IPO,
money. Oh, wait a minute, money. Oh yeah, let's do that.
Why is that so common with people?
Because money.
Money and power.
The richer you are, the better you are. That's obvious.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed that memo.
Okay, well, welcome back to the United States. Anything else exciting?
I mean, a lot exciting. It's officially June, so it feels like summer is starting. Kids are getting off of school. I feel like this is going to be a wild couple of months.
Yeah, my kids are out of school, and yeah.
It'll be interesting.
It's already too hot in Oklahoma. So,
I mean, so I feel like from like a clinical trials perspective, we're just kind of getting to like the end of the spring conferences. The fall ones really don't pick up until October. It seems like this year. October this year. And so like, I don't know, I feel like summer, like especially with academic centers and some of those things, like summer, people are on vacations. It slows down a little bit. Is that like, do you feel the same way in the site space or no?
No. I feel like it's picked up over like the first quarter from now. Like we've seen a lot more PSVs and feasibilities, more study awards. Now we have seen like, I feel like a lot of people have been on vacation like this week and last week. At least here, I don't know if that's just because school's out and childcare and all the other things and what have you. But no, I mean, we've seen, I think, a nice and honestly welcome kind of pickup in things that have been going on. And, talking to some other people, I think people were still kind of hesitant with, current administration. I feel like that's another podcast. We could probably talk about what's happening there right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like things are kind of picking back up in a nice way, and it's all ebbs and flows. I'm not going to pretend like I have any wisdom when it comes to like why that is, but I will say, it's nice to see, more study opportunities coming at least.
I feel like that was the general sentiment last week too, where like folks were like, it's starting to pick back up again. Like, I feel like people were very first half of this year, like everyone kind of froze with what was going on with the administration.
Right.
And like, I feel like if people are starting to activate things again,
Sure.
a little bit more, because now we're distracted by building a ballroom and a UFC fight cage. So focus is elsewhere now.
When is that? I mean, I assume that's
I think it's like 4th of July weekend. That's like the whole of America.
That could not be anymore. I just hope there's a bald eagle that flies over at some point.
That is, I actually read something quite humorous, but sort of as a joke. But it's Pride Month, and there was a whole joke about how the LGBTQ community is gonna start buying all the tickets to the UFC and make it this like passionate end to Pride Month. And apparently it's now maybe taking off. I don't know, some whatever Reddit, Instagram threads. So take that for what it's worth. But I thought that would be hilarious outcome if that plays in.
As somebody who appreciates martial arts but hates the UFC, I appreciate that sentiment.
I think that'd be iconic if it does happen. So we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll be back Thursday. Check out Steve Wimmer's new podcast.
Yeah.
If you haven't, he's got a nice little shtick going. I told him we're going to go to war, our podcast against his. So
I like it.
I didn't tell you that, but
no, you did not. But
we have to take him down. We have to pretty much take him down.
Do like a battle bots scenario of a podcast.
Yeah. Espionage and black ops and all kinds of stuff. So, but no, shout out Steve Wimmer. Go check out his podcast. He's got nothing else to do, I guess. So welcome. Talk to me in 7 years, Steve Wimmer, after you've been podcasting. Other than that, again, we're trying to wrap up and get some guests in. I've got Dirk from Caster will be on in July, and working on getting some other guests in. And I feel like we say this every other week, but I mean it this time. We're really going to do it.
So we'll
so if there's anyone interested in hearing from or hearing anything you're interested in hearing about, let us know. This is for you guys. We do this for you, the fan. We do this for you, the fan, the one fan of the show out there. This is why we do this.
Cool.
Anything else?
Sure not.
Okay. Then we'll be back Thursday and maybe slightly more organized.
That's a stretch.
Probably not. I think that's the it's
aspirational.
No, I also think that's the appeal, right? We don't really have an agenda. We're just going to talk.
I was going to say
probably either love it or you hate it.
We should poll the audience, but it's not statistically significant, so there's no point.
Yeah, let's pull all three of you who watch this show.
Don't worry, it's anonymized.
Yeah, exactly. You, by watching this, you consent us using your data in any way we feel. All right, rock and roll. We'll be back Thursday.
48 hours.
Later, dudes. Thanks for listening to Note to File. We're committed to continuing to bring you independent and unfiltered coverage of the clinical trial industry.
We want to talk about what you want to hear. So if you have something on your mind, hit us up at notetofilepodcast.com.